Hello, so this is the second session in our look at the Shi Ba Shi set. I'll be going through Repulsor Monkey, which is something some of us will be familiar with from our Tai-Chi practice. Be doing rowing the boat downstream, rowing our boat. There are various versions of that. This is the one that we'll be doing. Lifting the ball, a lovely little move, not unlike a move within the loosening exercises we sometimes do within the open Tai Chi class. Gazing at the moon, a beautiful sweeping move as well, which gives us a nice turn on the body. So there is another video of the first 4 moves which is out there. I may edit them together so that they're in one place, I may not, but that's certainly on the YouTube page as well. So let's just get ourselves into our Qigong space so that we can start. I like to start my feet either together or slightly apart, maybe hip width apart. And the standard chant of relax the shoulders, relax them again, and relax them again. Okay, let's start with lifting water, simply because it's quite a nice way to get ourselves centered. So slight bend in the knee, tail tucked under, breathing mindfully into our lower dantian. Connect with the ground, come on up, wrists rise up to about shoulder height, and release. Now remembering all the rise that we do within the set, we don't simply stop the rise when the hands lift or the body. The rise continues through the spine into the crown, and then settles, soften back down, nice and loose. So breathing in gently here, and releasing the breath here. We'll do a couple more, just to get ourselves in the space. Okay, so let's talk about Repulse Monkey. Slightly complex move. There's various ways of thinking about it, and I really encourage you, if thinking about this move in a particular way isn't working for you, don't try to make that way of thinking work. Yeah, all kinds of ways of describing this. Simply put, the move starts here. So I connect to the ground, and as I rise, I allow my body to turn, and my hands rise, led perhaps by my wrist. My front hand is in my center line, yeah, here, not here, center line to my initial stance, here. The rear hand comes up in line with my shoulder. I try to keep my eyes forward even though my head turns, yeah. So my eyes stay forward, looking at my hand. Now this hand I can see out the corner of my eye. We often do this, and I do it. It's lovely. It's lovely to do it from here. But what we try and do for better practice is to bring it up so we can still see it just out the corner of our eye, yeah, just wiggling through. So these come up to about shoulder height. This hand goes into the hello position, so in line with the ear, rise here. And then as we release, the body will sink and turn, and that gentle turn draws this hand in along the center line and allows this hand to come round with the body. I sink and I turn, and then the hands float. This hand floats in, this hand floats forward. Okay? And if you can get it, this one goes through the center line and they cross like a ball in front, float through, and then start to move again. I rise up, the rear hand comes to that low position, and as I release, the front hand travels in and rolls over. The rear hand travels forward and they gently cross. And I allow the move to continue as they float, and then I start again. Some people think this described as like swimming. If that works for you, do, but try not to get too hung up on it, particularly if it isn't working for you. Let me show you it from the side. we? There we are. So from here, nice and loose. Rise. And I relax. Hands float, and then I start to move again. I turn the waist, I rise to the hello position, I relax. The hands come through, and they float a little, then I start moving again. I turn my waist, my hands rise, and then I relax. Now we do it from behind. So from here I'm sat, I connect to the ground, turn, the hands rise, nice loose shoulders, hand rolls into hello, I relax the waist, I sink subtly, the hands float through, turn the waist, I rise, shoulders loose, hands come in, I sink gently, and that's how we play. Try not to get too hung up on this move, it can feel complicated, but once you've got it, it is really nice. Nice, gentle flowing action. For me, the breath's obvious. I would accept the breath here, and the breath leaves here. Accept the breath here. Things to watch out for. Often people will drop the rear hand. Yeah, they'll do that. So watch out. Yeah, what you want to do is go to the hello position, allow it to stay there, and then travel forwards. Go to hello position. It travels around with you and comes forward. Another quick note for those of us who like to do our Tai Chi forms, I talk a little bit in the Overton Tai Chi class about the fold, and here, as I sink here, this arm folds in, this stays on this line. The front hand folds. There you go, Repulsor Monkey. So I've got a little bit of fruit in my hand here, monkey's coming, I push the monkey away. Front hand rolls over as it comes back. And we get this nice gentle ball in the centre line here. Good, hopefully that's working for you. Row the boat. Various forms of row the boat. Some not dissimilar to lifting water from the stream, or gathering water from the stream, that we've done in the Badwa Jin set. But here, not the simplest version, but a very simple version. So I start here, tail tucked in, nice and loose, connect to the ground, arms come up. When they're at shoulder height, we keep the elbows where they are and the hands come into here. I bend from the waist forward. Try and keep this loose. And then the hands can start to, with that downward movement, to here. So I push into the ground here. The arms are these are at shoulder height. Lean forward from the waist. And then let the hands travel down gently as I sit. I breathe in here, gently. And release here. Simple enough move. And straighten out here. Try not to make it too complicated for yourself. If there are reasons why you can't do this tilt forward, maybe you've got a poorly back, then just don't do the tilt. Things to enjoy. I'll show you sideways. The arms, when they're here, they don't do anything. They just move with me. I'm not bringing the arms forward at this point. And then as I sit back, I can just let the arms float down. Breathe in. Release. Don't worry about when you're tilting back. Just probably best practice to tilt back as the arms float down. But really, for me here, the win is the breathing and the tilt itself. So I'm trying to tilt from the millstone. And of course, with our arms up here, it gives us a good opportunity to be mindful about keeping the shoulders relaxed. Do a few more of those. A little rise here. See how loose my hands are? And a gentle sink as we come back here. Lovely way to spend some time. And one more. That's rowing the boat. Like I said, there are various versions of that out there. That's quite a nice, easy one. Brings in a different movement with that waist, so that's cool. Lifting the ball. So not dissimilar to one of the lifting exercises we have here. Imagine you have a ball and the hand is coming from the rear to the left. Now you're going to need to turn that foot. I've got a slight calf problem, so I might look a bit stiff. See my rear foot as I turns with allow. I don't turn it, I just allow it to come round. And I'm going to come back here, do all I need to do to make this a safe practice for myself. So, as I turn, the rear hand comes up, the front hand comes up, the hand at the back is just loose, and I soften, come through, and up we go. So I'm turning from the front up to 90 degrees here. Rear, the waist is doing all the work. My shoulders are being turned. I'm not being led by my shoulders, I'm being led by the waist. I'm connected well to the ground. Breathe as you breathe on this one. You might want to get the rhythm. Out here, in here, out here. Be really loose and light, but allow the position to hold gently at the end. This gives you an opportunity to practice putting the minimum amount of effort into keeping the arm there really light. There is a trick here if you want to do your Qigong points around your jumping round point, but we can talk about that another time. There you go. So that's quite nice. I've often quite fast with that. Turning it into a loosening exercise, similar to the loosening exercises we do sometimes. Yeah, similar to that, but it's up to you how you want to practice that. So lifting the ball, lovely little move. Imagine you've got a ball, imagine you're lifting it. And try and be loose, really loose throughout. Okay, let's turning and gazing at the moon, really nice. Have a kind of swooping up motion. So we can just do it like so. So our hands rise as though we're holding the moon, as though we're holding a beach ball. So you can have them like this or like so. Different practices, different teachings have it held differently. I just like to imagine there's a connection between my palms. So we turn, we can be with our feet still and just rise a little and turn and really lift. Allow the arms to fall, so not dissimilar to lifting a ball and turn. Personally, I prefer the practice of allowing the body to turn a little further because we get a different dynamic. So I'm turning my feet to make the turn greater, lifting that rear heel, coming down, sinking here, turning the feet to allow the lift to be greater and lifting that rear heel. And I'm trying to lift here, so as I come here, the lift comes through the spine, out through the body, neck and crown, really elongating that spine, nice and soft. And again, because we've got our arms up high, we've got an opportunity to try and keep our shoulders soft as we do the move. Breathe as you breathe. Again, no, not necessarily determined right here, but for me, the out breath seems to be best here, because this one allows me to get a good belly full of air. Turning to look at the moon. Gazing at the moon. So there we go. So those are the next few moves in the Shi Ba Shi. I'll link them together in a separate video for us so you can do it as a flow. But hopefully this will give you some simple reference points. Thank you very much.